Right, overloaded. Is Ireland actually at the brink? Let's get straight into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. 100%. That is the sheer, staggering reality of the population growth we've seen in some urban commuter zones over the last few years alone. It's massive. In this explainer, we're going to unpack exactly what that surge actually means on the ground. We'll be looking at the absolute core pillars of our society today: housing, hospitals, schools, and transport. Because look, this isn't just some abstract figure in a government spreadsheet, right? This is the lived reality for every single one of us just trying to go about our day on this island.
See, we're living through this massive, glaring divide right now. On the macro level, the state is booming, corporate tax receipts are through the roof, and the national economic data looks absolutely grand on paper, doesn't it? But step away from those spreadsheets for a second and look at the micro reality, the actual hard graft. For the Irish working family, there is this daunting disconnect between the glowing economic reports you hear on the evening news and the pure daily struggle to just make ends meet and access basic services. That is the core tension we're breaking down today: a booming state versus a totally squeezed household.
Section 1. Housing the working family. Let's take a look at the reality of keeping a roof over our heads. So we're looking at a brutal squeeze right across the board here, and it's hitting both renters and prospective homebuyers hard. We've got a national housing deficit running into the tens of thousands. And honestly, the sheer lack of supply compared to this population boom is literally putting the heart crossways in working families. I mean, imagine doing the hard graft every single day, putting in the hours, saving every cent you can, and it's still nearly impossible to secure a place. Families are up against absolutely unprecedented demand. You've got young couples stuck in these fierce, endless bidding wars just trying to get a toe on the property ladder. And renters? They're queuing around the block by the dozens just to view one tiny, cramped apartment. It's a massive, massive divide between the so-called national economic success story and the incredibly stressful reality of trying to house your family in modern Ireland.
Section 2. Schools and hospital capacity. Moving out of the home and into our local communities. This infrastructure lag, it's hitting the absolute heart of our communities. Think about the morning school run. It used to be simple enough, didn't it? But now, class sizes are seriously swelling, often pushing well past 30 students to a single teacher. Local schools are stretched to their absolute limits, relying heavily on prefabs and temporary fixes just to fit the growing number of kids in their catchment areas. And then you look at local healthcare, and the lag is even more severe. Look, we all know the stories, but seeing the hospital bed deficit stack up against a surging population, it starkly highlights how our healthcare capacity is lagging way, way behind the national growth curve. Winter or summer, it doesn't matter anymore. The pressure on A&E departments and the lack of available beds is just relentless. The state's population is growing significantly faster than we can actually build the classrooms and the hospital wards we need to support the very working families driving that economic growth.
Section 3. Transport and daily commutes. Let's look at how we're actually getting to work these days.
Well, this lag builds into a serious daily struggle on our roads and public transit networks. It is the absolute headache of the Irish commute. We're talking packed buses, severe road bottlenecks, and a public transport system that's just failing to meet the massive surge in demand. You know the exact feeling, right? You're standing at the bus stop in the lashing rain, and 3 completely full buses go flying past without even tapping the brakes. Or you're sitting in a massive chock-a-block bottleneck on the M50, or doing that daily crawl into Cork, Galway, or Limerick. In fact, some commuters are losing up to a full working week of their lives every single year just stuck in traffic. Our transport infrastructure is leaving people absolutely jam-packed on the way to work. It's an exhausting start and an exhausting end to the working day. The hard graft is hard enough without losing hours of your life because the infrastructure hasn't kept pace with the people.
And all of this, it leaves us in a state of absolute overload. The sheer volume of people just trying to get from A to B means the system is under severe critical pressure. This isn't just visual drama for the sake of it. This is the immense, very real frustration of the daily commuter facing red alert level delays. It perfectly captures the mood of the Irish worker right now. It asks the exact question that's on everyone's lips when they're wedged onto a packed Lotus or Dart. Are we just totally overloaded?
Section 4. Demographics and future planning. Let's look at the actual numbers driving all of this.
To really understand this strain, we have to look purely at the statistical drivers, objectively. A massive slice of this rapid national expansion comes directly from changing demographics and immigration. People are coming to Ireland from all over to work, filling absolutely vital roles in our healthcare systems, our tech sectors, and our hospitality industries.
And right alongside that, our own natural demographics and life expectancies are shifting too. These are just the vital statistical components driving the surge. It's the factual reality of a modern, highly attractive, growing economy. The math behind the strain is crystal clear. This is exactly how the population is making up its incredibly rapid surge.
Which leaves us with one incredibly provocative question. Is Ireland planning far enough ahead? When you look at everything we've just gone through in this explainer, the severe housing squeeze for both renters and buyers, the stretched hospitals, the overflowing schools, and those jam-packed, exhausting commutes, it all comes down to basic foresight. Are the planners looking far enough down the road to protect the future of our local communities, or are we going to be stuck playing catch-up for the next decade? It is a massive question, and it's something every working family in Ireland has to seriously ponder right now. Thanks a million for joining me for this explainer. Keep an eye on those numbers, and I'll leave you to think on that.